What if I told you that your purpose has been there all along, hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to uncover it? What if everything you have been searching for, every answer you've desperately sought, was already within you, and all you needed to do was learn how to see it? The problem is, we often look for meaning and purpose outside of ourselves, seeking validation from others, chasing external achievements, or conforming to the expectations of society. But what if, instead of looking outward, the key to unlocking your true purpose lies in your ability to look inward, to silence the noise and to trust the process of deep reflection and introspection? Rene Descartes, the great philosopher, laid the groundwork for how we might begin to uncover such truths. Descartes' method, his quest for certainty in the face of doubt, is as relevant to us today as it was in the 17th century. Descartes believed in the power of the mind to discover absolute truth, but he also understood that this truth could only be found through the process of radical doubt and silence. By questioning everything, by stripping away all external influences and ideas, he sought to uncover the core of what is truly real. And this method can be your guide too, to unveiling your purpose in the silence of isolation. The idea is simple yet profound. To seek truth, you must first clear away the noise, the distractions, the expectations, and the fears that cloud your judgment. Only in the stillness of your own mind, in the space of solitude, can you access the clarity needed to uncover the purpose that has been waiting for you all along. But, like Descartes, this process requires doubt. It requires you to question everything you thought you knew about yourself and the world around you. Only by doubting, by temporarily setting aside the assumptions you have built your life upon, can you begin to see what is truly essential, the purpose that lies at the core of your being. The problem is that most of us are terrified of the silence. We avoid solitude because it forces us to face the parts of ourselves we've long ignored. In the silence, we have nowhere to hide from our fears, our insecurities, our contradictions. But what if the silence is not the enemy? What if it is the very space where your true self, the person you've always been meant to be, can finally emerge? Descartes' method of radical doubt involves stepping into the unknown, not in order to retreat, but to find clarity. When you strip away all the distractions, all the noise, and all the external pressures, you make room for something far more powerful to emerge, the truth of who you are, of what your life's purpose truly is. To begin, you must be willing to sit in the silence. You must be willing to isolate yourself from the world, not as a form of punishment or retreat, but as a way of coming closer to your true self. Isolation is not an escape from life. It is a return to it, a return to your own mind, your own soul, and your own deepest desires. In this solitude, you will begin to ask yourself the hard questions. Who are you really? What are you meant to do? What drives you at the deepest level? These questions, though uncomfortable, are the ones that will begin to unlock your purpose. But the only way to hear the answers is to create space for them in the silence. Descartes famously said, "Cogito, ergo sum." I think, therefore I am. In these words, he acknowledged the power of thought, of introspection, as the foundation of knowledge and existence. It is through thinking, through questioning, that we come to know ourselves and the world. But what if the thinking process that Descartes championed must first begin in the silence? What if, instead of constantly filling your mind with external opinions, judgments, and distractions, the key to your purpose lies in quieting those voices and listening to your own inner truth? By practicing this method of radical doubt and silence, you allow yourself to step outside the rush of life and the influence of others. You stop searching for approval, validation, or direction from external sources. Instead, you begin to trust the only true source of knowledge, yourself. Descartes' method teaches us that in order to find certainty, we must first doubt everything that has been accepted as truth. This doesn't mean doubting your existence or your value. It means doubting the stories and expectations that society, your past, or your fears have written for you. When you question those stories, when you clear away the clutter of preconceived notions, You make room for something far more profound to emerge. It is in this space of solitude, of radical introspection, that you will begin to uncover your true purpose. As Descartes did, you must reject the external distractions that prevent you from seeing clearly. Your purpose is not something you find by chasing after the approval of others, by accumulating possessions, or by living up to someone else's idea of success. Your purpose is something that arises from deep within, from the quiet place of knowing yourself fully and living in alignment with that truth. But let me be clear, this journey into the silence is not a comfortable one. It is not easy to sit alone with your thoughts, to confront the parts of yourself that you've been avoiding. It is tempting to fill that silence with distractions, with activity, with anything that can keep you from facing the discomfort of your own mind. But Descartes' method teaches us that this discomfort is not to be feared. It is precisely in this discomfort, in the moment when all else falls away, that the truth of who you are can finally be revealed. By embracing the silence, by stepping away from the noise of the world, you will find clarity, purpose, and direction. In this quiet space, you will start to hear the whispers of your true desires, the authentic path that calls to you, the purpose that has always been waiting for you to uncover it. And when you finally allow yourself to listen, you will realize that your purpose has been hiding in plain sight all along. It has always been within you, waiting for you to stop running from it, waiting for you to create the space to hear it. But this process requires patience. It requires you to sit with the discomfort, to stay in the silence long enough to let the truth reveal itself. You may not hear it immediately. You may have to spend days, weeks, or even months in this space before you begin to understand what is being asked of you. But as you persist, as you trust the process, the answers will begin to come. Your purpose will unfold, not as a grand revelation that comes in a flash, but as a slow, steady realization that deepens over time. Your purpose is not something you have to go out and search for. It is already within you. It is only through silence and introspection, through clearing away the noise and the distractions, that you will come to see it. Just as Descartes used doubt to uncover truth, you must use silence to uncover your deepest desires, your true calling, and the meaning of your life. So, I ask you, are you ready to step into the silence? Are you willing to isolate yourself from the noise of the world, long enough to hear your own inner truth? Will you trust that your purpose is already there, waiting to be discovered, and that the method to uncover it is not found in the noise, but in the stillness of your own mind? Descartes' method is not just a tool for philosophical exploration. It is a guide to unveiling your truth, to finding the purpose that has always been hiding in plain sight. The question is, will you take the time to listen? To uncover your purpose, you must first learn to silence the noise. The noise that surrounds you, the constant chatter of society's expectations, the demands of others, the pressure to be something or someone you're not, has become so familiar that it feels like the air you breathe. It's ingrained in every aspect of your life, pushing you in directions you never consciously chose, pulling you away from the truth of who you are. You've been taught to seek answers from the outside world, to look for validation in achievements, relationships, and societal recognition. But Descartes' method challenges this approach. It urges you to step away from everything that pulls you outward and to turn inward, into the silence where your true purpose awaits. Descartes, in his search for certainty, rejected all external influences that could distort his understanding of truth. In his famous meditations, he doubted everything that was not absolutely certain. This radical doubt, as uncomfortable as it may seem, is a tool to strip away all the distractions and false beliefs that cloud your perception of self. Just as Descartes sought to question everything in pursuit of foundational truth, you too must question the assumptions and narratives that have shaped your life thus far. What do you really know about yourself? Are the beliefs you hold true actually yours? Or are they inherited from others, family, society, culture? By engaging in this process of radical introspection and silence, you begin to dismantle the false identities that have accumulated over time. Each layer you peel away reveals a more authentic version of yourself, one that has been hidden beneath layers of external noise. You'll start to question the roles you've been playing, the expectations you've been fulfilling, and the ideas you've internalized about what success and happiness should look like. What if, in rejecting all these external influences, you discover that your purpose is not something to chase but something to align with? The first step in Descartes' method, then, is simple. Silence the distractions. Disconnect from the outside world long enough to hear the whisper of your soul. And this silence isn't merely the absence of sound. It's the absence of all the external forces that tell you who you should be. It's a mental and emotional space where you allow yourself to simply be, without pressure, without judgment, and without the weight of others' expectations. In this silence, you stop being a reflection of everyone else's opinions and begin to become a reflection of your own deepest truth. But as you enter this silence, you may feel uncomfortable. The mind resists stillness because it has been trained to seek constant stimulation. When the distractions are removed, you may feel restless, anxious, even fearful of what might arise. It's here in the discomfort that the real work begins. You must face what comes up, your insecurities, your doubts, the fear that you are not enough, that you don't have what it takes. These are the things that have been buried in the shadow of your mind, the aspects of yourself that you've pushed away, hoping they would disappear. And in facing them and bringing them into the light, you begin to understand them. You begin to understand yourself. Jung called this process of confronting the unconscious mind shadow work. The shadow consists of the parts of you that have been repressed or denied, and it holds the key to unlocking your true purpose. These are the parts of yourself that have been ignored, avoided, or judged as negative, and yet they contain wisdom. Descartes' method of radical doubt serves as a tool to bring you face to face with these aspects of yourself. Through silence and introspection, you can start to uncover the truths that have been hidden in the shadow, and in doing so, you unlock the potential that has always been within you. What you may find is that your purpose has always been there. It's just been buried beneath layers of external influence, fear, and self-doubt. The journey into silence and isolation reveals this truth slowly, piece by piece, as you confront and accept the parts of yourself that you've long avoided. The discomfort you feel in this process is a sign that you are on the right path, not a sign of failure. Each moment of discomfort brings you closer to the real you, to the truth that has been hiding in plain sight. The more you engage with this process, the more you will uncover. The key to this journey is not in seeking a specific answer or destination, but in learning to trust the process itself. Descartes' doubt led him to the realization that the only thing he could be sure of was his own existence. Cogito, ergo sum. I think, therefore I am. This is the foundation of your own journey, the recognition that you exist, that you are here, and that you are worthy of uncovering your purpose. But this discovery cannot be made in the noise of the world. It must be found in the silence, in the quiet moments of self-reflection where you stop seeking external validation and start trusting your own inner wisdom. In this process, you begin to peel back the layers of what is not truly you. Societies, expectations, families' demands, cultural norms, and in doing so, you start to uncover what is truly you. The external world will try to pull you back into its patterns, into its distractions, into its illusions. But the more you engage with your true self in silence, the more immune you become to these external forces. You begin to realize that your purpose is not something to be found in the world. It is something to be realized within yourself. As you move deeper into the silence and embrace Descartes' method of radical doubt, you will begin to notice that the questions about your purpose start to shift. Instead of asking what your purpose is or where it is to be found, you will begin asking who you are and why you are here. The focus of the inquiry changes from an external chase for meaning to an internal discovery of truth. And in this shift, you will discover that your purpose is not something that exists outside of you, waiting for you to achieve it. It is something that you must become. The journey to uncover your purpose through Descartes' method of silence and radical doubt is not easy. It requires you to turn away from the noise, the distractions, and the expectations of the world, and instead focus inward. It demands that you sit with your discomfort, confront your doubts, and challenge the beliefs you have held about yourself. But in doing so, you will discover that the truth was always there. Your purpose, your essence, the very reason you exist, is not hidden in some distant future goal or external achievement. It has been inside you all along, waiting for you to clear away the noise and listen to the stillness within. And as you listen, as you embrace the silence and the discomfort, you will find that your purpose begins to reveal itself, not as something distant or far off, but as a living, breathing part of who you are. Your purpose is not a goal to achieve, it is a truth to embody. And once you uncover it, you will find yourself living in alignment with your deepest desires, your truest self, and a life that is filled with meaning. So ask yourself now, are you willing to embrace the silence and trust that your purpose is already within you? Are you ready to question everything you thought you knew and step into the stillness where your truth resides? Your purpose is hiding, in plain sight, and it's waiting for you to uncover it. All you need to do is listen. As you continue to sit in the silence, you will begin to feel a shift. The more you embrace the stillness, the more you learn to tune out the external world and listen to the whispers within, the clearer the path to your true self becomes. The distractions that once seemed so loud, the societal expectations, the judgments of others, the pressure to conform, start to fade into the background, leaving you with a profound sense of clarity. This is where the transformation happens. This is where you begin to realize that your purpose was never hidden in the chaos of the world. It was always waiting for you in the quiet space where you can truly hear yourself. But don't be mistaken. This process of uncovering your purpose through silence is not instantaneous. Just as Descartes spent years doubting everything to find truth, so too will you find that the deeper answers you seek about your life's purpose will take time to reveal themselves. It's not something that can be rushed or forced. Your purpose will emerge as you continue to question, reflect, and align with the truth of who you are. The more you sit with your own thoughts, the more you clear away the noise and distractions, the more you will be able to listen to the voice that has always been there, quietly guiding you toward your authentic self. The silence in many ways acts as a mirror. It reflects back to you what you've been avoiding, what you've been neglecting, and what you've been hiding from. The questions you've carried with you for years. What am I meant to do with my life? Why am I here? Will begin to make sense, but only when you give them the space to unfold. This is where the deep self-inquiry happens. This is where you begin to ask the tough questions and receive the answers that have always been within you. And as you begin to receive those answers, the layers of uncertainty start to lift. In the stillness of isolation, you also begin to hear the parts of yourself that you have long ignored. The quiet voice of your soul, the one that has been drowned out by the noise of everyday life, begins to make itself heard. The more you listen to this inner voice, the more you realize that your purpose is not some external force that you must chase down. It is not something you will find one day in a distant future. It is something that resides within you, something that you must align with, something that already exists, waiting to be uncovered. The silence creates the space for this voice to emerge, and it is in this space that your true purpose begins to take shape. But here's the thing. The answers you seek are not going to come as a sudden epiphany, like a light bulb turning on. They come as a gentle unfolding, a gradual awareness that grows over time. As you continue with this process of introspection and silence, you'll begin to notice that the answers to your deepest questions come in moments of stillness, when you are not forcing or striving, but simply being. The more you stop trying to control the process, the more the answers will reveal themselves. In this stillness, the truth emerges not as a sudden, dramatic revelation, but as a quiet understanding that deepens within you. So how do you know when you've found your purpose? How do you know when you've truly uncovered the truth of who you are? It's simple. You'll know because it will feel like an alignment with everything that is real and true about you. There will be no confusion, no second guessing, no sense of striving or seeking. Your purpose will simply be. It will feel like you've finally come home to yourself. The external world may still try to pull you in different directions, but you will remain grounded in the truth of who you are. Your purpose will no longer be something you search for, but something you live every single day. This is the gift that Descartes' method offers. His radical doubt, his willingness to question everything in order to find certainty, is not just a philosophical exercise. It is a way to clear the fog that clouds your perception of yourself and your life's purpose. Through this process, you begin to see beyond the distractions, beyond the false beliefs, and into the core of who you are. In that space of silence and introspection, your purpose is revealed to you, not as a destination, but as a way of being. It is something that you can live into, not something that you need to chase or achieve. In the silence, you stop searching for external validation. You stop looking for your purpose outside of yourself, because you begin to realize that it is already there, quietly waiting for you to uncover it. Your purpose is not something that is granted to you by others. It is something that you must claim for yourself. And the only way to claim it is by learning to trust the silence, to trust yourself, and to trust the inner wisdom that is already available to you. When you embrace the silence, when you step away from the noise and allow yourself to truly listen to the deepest parts of your being, your purpose becomes undeniable. It is not something you need to prove to anyone else. It is not something you need to justify or defend. It simply is. And when you start living from that place of alignment, when you start living as the person you were always meant to be, everything else falls into place. The rest of the world will begin to fade away as you find the courage to live in your truth. So ask yourself now, what has the noise of the world been telling you that has clouded your perception? What have you been avoiding in the silence that is waiting for you to face it? Your purpose is not hidden in a far-off dream or in the pursuit of external accolades. It is hidden in the silence, in the quiet moments of introspection, where you can hear your soul's deepest calling. Will you allow yourself to sit with that silence, to let go of the distractions, and listen to the voice of your true self? The answers are already within you, waiting to be heard. The only question is, will you trust the silence enough to hear them? As you sit deeper into this silence, this space where the world's expectations and distractions begin to fade away, you may feel an initial sense of discomfort. It's unsettling, isn't it? The stillness is loud in its quietness, as if your mind, having been accustomed to external noise, resists the calm. But it's precisely here, in this discomfort, that the truth begins to surface. When the noise of society and the constant rush of life are no longer your guiding forces, you are left with only one thing: yourself. And it is through this confrontation with your inner world that you begin to realize your deepest truth. The fear you feel in solitude is not a sign of failure. It is a sign that you are on the verge of discovery. The silence brings you face to face with your most authentic self, the person you have been hiding from, the person you have been too afraid to fully embrace. But in that confrontation, you are presented with the most profound opportunity of all, to reclaim your power. It is in the silence that you begin to hear the whispers of your purpose, guiding you back to the core of your being. It is not something distant or elusive. It is something that has always been with you, patiently waiting to be recognized. When you stop seeking external validation, when you stop trying to measure your worth through the eyes of others, you create the space to discover your intrinsic value. Your purpose is not defined by what you accomplish or how others perceive you. It is defined by the alignment between your inner truth and the life you choose to lead. And this alignment can only be achieved through deep self-awareness. By sitting with the silence, by questioning the narratives that have been placed upon you, and by discovering what truly matters to you, free from the noise of the world. The more you continue to lean into this silence, the more you will begin to notice a shift. Your purpose will no longer be something you need to find, it will be something you begin to live. It will become clear that your purpose is not a static destination to reach, but a continuous unfolding of who you are meant to be. And this unfolding happens in the quiet spaces of your life, where you can listen to your inner guidance without the interference of external opinions. It is in these moments of solitude that you discover that purpose is not an achievement, but a way of being aligned with your true self and living authentically. As you continue to question, reflect, and silence the external noise, you may also come to realize that many of the stories you've been told about purpose were never your own. You may have been living according to other people's standards, trying to meet expectations that were never aligned with your soul's truth. Descartes' method of radical doubt invites you to question everything you have been conditioned to believe about yourself. What if the life you've been living is not your own, but the life you thought you were supposed to live? What if your purpose has been right here all along, hiding in plain sight, waiting for you to stop looking outward and start looking inward? It's in the stillness of isolation that you begin to recognize that purpose is not something to be chased or achieved. It is something to be remembered. Your purpose has always been embedded within you, buried under layers of distractions, fears, and false beliefs. But as you strip away these layers, as you begin to trust the silence and doubt the noise, you start to remember who you truly are and what you are meant to do. It may not be a sudden revelation, but rather a gradual unfolding, a slow, steady realization that you have been living in alignment with your true purpose all along, even if you didn't realize it. The more you engage with this process of radical introspection, the more you will see how all the experiences in your life, all the pain, the joy, the struggles, and the triumphs, have led you to this very moment. You will begin to understand that your life's purpose was not a distant goal you needed to achieve, but a truth you needed to accept and live out. Each part of your journey, the challenges, the moments of doubt, the times of solitude, has been leading you back to yourself. Your purpose, then, is not something to be found in the future, but something to be lived in the present. It is a life to be experienced, a truth to be embodied. And now, as you continue to trust the silence and allow yourself to be guided by your inner wisdom, you will realize that the search for purpose was never about external achievements or recognition. It was about aligning your life with your most authentic self. The external world may still try to define success, but you will no longer be swayed. You will be grounded in your truth, and from that place of authenticity, your purpose will naturally unfold. The more you embrace this truth, the more you will find that everything you need to live a meaningful life is already within you. The silence you once feared becomes your greatest ally. In it, you find the clarity, the confidence, and the strength to live fully and authentically. You begin to see that the noise of the world, the distractions, the pressures, and the expectations of others were never the source of your purpose. You were always meant to look inward, to trust the process of introspection, and to uncover the truth of who you are. And in doing so, you discover that your purpose has always been right in front of you, hiding in plain sight. Now, with this understanding, the next step is to live in alignment with what you have uncovered. As you continue to silence the noise and listen to your inner guidance, your actions will begin to reflect your true purpose. You no longer need to chase after external validation or approval. You have found your purpose within, and it is your job to live it, to express it in everything you do, and to trust that it will guide you to the next step of your journey. So take a deep breath. Embrace the silence, embrace the stillness, and allow the truth of your purpose to unfold. The answers are not out there, they are within. And when you stop looking outward and start listening to your own inner voice, you will begin to live the life you were always meant to lead. Your purpose has been waiting for you, quietly, patiently, hiding in plain sight. Now it's time to finally see it. As you begin to settle into this new understanding, a profound transformation starts to unfold within you. What seemed like an impossible journey towards clarity and purpose now feels more like a homecoming, a reunion with the truest, most authentic part of yourself. The discomfort of solitude, the silence that once felt like an enemy, is now your ally. In its quiet embrace, you are no longer lost, no longer searching for external validation, no longer driven by the expectations of others. You are beginning to understand that everything you've been searching for, everything that you thought was outside of you, has always been within. The answers to your deepest questions, the meaning of your life, the purpose you've long sought, these were never things to chase. They were always meant to be discovered through the process of going inward. Descartes' method of doubt, his insistence on questioning everything to get to the core of truth, is exactly what you have done in your own journey. Through silence and introspection, you have peeled away the layers of external influence, the voices that try to tell you who you should be. and you have started to trust yourself. And in trusting yourself, you have begun to unlock a deeper understanding of who you are and why you are here. Your purpose was never something that could be handed to you by the world. It was always something to be uncovered, something that could only be realized by quieting the noise and turning inward. But here's the catch. This process doesn't stop. Your journey towards uncovering your purpose is ongoing. The silence, the introspection, the radical questioning, it doesn't end once you've found clarity. No, this is an ever-evolving process of deepening your understanding, of getting closer to the person you were always meant to be. You will continue to face moments of doubt, moments when the noise of the world becomes overwhelming again. But you will now know where to return. You will have a new relationship with silence, no longer something to avoid but something to embrace. Because in that silence, in that solitude, you find the purest connection to your true self. There is something deeply empowering in realizing that your purpose is not something you must find outside of yourself. It is something that comes from within, something that emerges when you create the space to listen to the quiet whispers of your soul. You do not need to chase purpose as if it is something that exists beyond you. Instead, you need to cultivate the ability to hear it, to align with it, and to allow it to guide you. This isn't about achievement or outward success. It's about being in alignment with the deepest part of who you are. And when you align with that truth, when you live authentically in accordance with your inner wisdom, you will find that everything else in your life starts to fall into place. The journey you've undertaken, the courage to step into the silence, to question everything you've been taught, has led you to a truth that is so profound, so powerful, that it changes the way you view the world. You are not the sum of your accomplishments, your possessions, or your relationships. You are the sum of your authentic self, the person you are when you strip away all the external noise. And this person, the one you are in your deepest solitude, is the person that will guide you toward your purpose. As you continue to walk this path, you may find that the world around you seems to shift. The pressure to conform, to meet expectations, to constantly strive for more begins to feel irrelevant. You no longer have to prove yourself. You no longer have to chase things that don't resonate with your truth. What you once thought you needed to find in the world, you now realize is already inside you. And with that realization comes an inner peace, a sense of calm, knowing that you are exactly where you need to be. Your purpose isn't some far-off destination. It's something you live in every moment, in every choice, in every action that aligns with who you truly are. The external world will continue to offer distractions. The pressure to conform, to be someone you are not, will still be there. But now you have the power to choose. You have the power to say no to the noise, and yes to the silence. You have the power to live in alignment with your truth, regardless of what the world tells you. And as you do, you will find that your purpose becomes clearer, stronger, and more grounded in the present moment. And now, as you stand at the intersection of who you were and who you are becoming, you realize that the silence you once feared is now the greatest tool you have. In it, you have uncovered the truth of who you are and why you are here. The noise of the world no longer holds sway over you. The pressure to live according to someone else's narrative no longer controls you. You are the author of your own life, and your purpose is the story you are writing every day. So, take a moment to reflect. What is your life truly about? What would it feel like to live fully aligned with your purpose, to create each day from a place of authenticity and clarity? Your purpose is not something to be found in the future, in some distant achievement. It is here, right now, waiting for you to listen. The silence is not your enemy. It is the space where your truth lives. When you embrace that silence, you embrace your purpose. The journey to discovering your purpose, to unveiling your truth, is not a destination. It is an ongoing process. The more you continue to listen, to question, to turn inward, the more you will discover about yourself. And each discovery will bring you closer to the life you are meant to live. You no longer need to search for purpose outside of yourself. You have already found it hidden in plain sight, waiting for you to listen. Will you continue to trust the process? Will you continue to embrace the silence? Because in that silence, your purpose is not just found, it is realized, lived, and expressed in every aspect of your being.